What is up, ninjas? It's your boy Kevin David, and it is vlog number 6 time, coming to you live from Queenstown, New Zealand. It is absurdly beautiful. There's somebody literally going down in a parachute right there. Let's look at them really quick. Today I want to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to go straight into an example here. We're going to go and we're going to talk about my friend that actually graduated from Stanford Law School recently. And I was talking to him and I said, you know, Adam, what is the difference between a lawyer and someone who's not a lawyer? Like, what do you actually learn? Because with medicine, you know, you're learning specific procedures and things like that. But, you know, lawyers couldn't possibly actually memorize all of the different civil law in all of these different regions that they might work in, you know, all the different international law. Really what they're doing is, you know, just looking it up in a database, looking it up in a legal database, looking it up in books, right? And so what are they actually going to do? What did they actually learn at Stanford that differentiated him as a lawyer and me not as a lawyer? And he gave me a really articulate answer. He basically said, you know, I don't know anything that you don't know. All I learned in those 3 years at law school was how to learn. Right? And so he learned how to learn. He learned how to think like a lawyer. He learned how to, you know, learn the things that he needed to find out. He learned how to, the correct places to look for the information he was looking for. He learned what resources to check. He learned, you know, how to learn. And so it's really important, and I think that that's a great example of, you know, any type of entrepreneurship. Because, you know, once you become an entrepreneur, it becomes completely chaotic. Like, there's nobody who knows how to do everything. For most of the time, there's no correct answer. You're having to make really difficult choices between one thing and the other. And, you know, as you become an entrepreneur, the more and more success you get, the more and more chaotic and, you know, different and strange situations that you kind of start to encounter. And so I think it's extremely important just to talk about, you know, when somebody asks you a question and you say, I don't know, the next time you say, I don't know, instead of saying, I don't know, Google the answer to that question and provide value to the person asking it to you. Because when you do that and you start to get in the habit of actually providing value and looking up things for yourself on Google, you become so much more valuable, whether you're an employee, whether you're an entrepreneur, right? The type of employees that I like to look for are the ones who bring me answers. Not saying I don't know, not saying, you know, I haven't learned that yet, going out and figuring it out, learning how to learn, and then bringing me back value to save me time so I can focus on things that are more important in other contexts. And so let's talk about another example. So let's say that you are in the weight loss space and now it's time to create your email follow-up sequence. And so a lot of people might say, you know, I don't know what to do. I've never done it before. I've never optimized one. I don't know what works. I don't know what doesn't. And, you know, person A might say that they don't know and they've never done it before. And, you know, maybe they go buy some course or something like that to go figure it out, right? And if the person who's teaching that information really knows what they're talking about, then maybe it's money well spent, right? Especially if they're kind of working with them and kind of fine-tuning it for exactly what they need. But, you know, person B might go out there and instead of saying, I don't know, or instead of saying, I've never done it yet, they might, you know, go out there and find all of the best people in the weight loss space. They'd go out and find, you know, I don't know many weight loss people, but I could figure it out with a simple Google search. But they'd go out and they'd sign up to all of the email lists of the top 5, top 10 different people in their specific space, and they would actually get emails from them. And they'd see, you know, what in those emails worked on them, what in those emails that they could potentially, you know, use in their own business. And then instead of starting from scratch and having to learn an entirely new segment of entrepreneurship, they have a huge head start on people who've potentially been around for years or, you know, 10s or 20, 30 years who've been doing this and have been fine-tuning and tweaking all of their email sequences, right? All of their advertisements in another realm, all of their, you know, videos maybe. You know, what I'm trying to say here, guys, and the lesson that I'm trying to teach is you need to form the habit of being able to learn anything. Because if you do, then the world becomes your oyster. You can do anything. Instead of saying, I don't know, or I've never done it yet, or I don't have confidence in it, go out there and establish the mentality that I'm just gonna look at the best people who are doing it. I'm gonna look at the people who are out there and they're making the most money, they're impacting the most people, right? I did the exact same thing with Russell Brunson. When I first learned about Russell Brunson and I started reading his material, I said, oh my God, this guy knows what he's doing. And when I got to meet him in Boise, right, it really cemented that for me because he's not going out and traveling the world and partying and, you know, doing things that other people might enjoy. He's literally every day in and day out understanding buyer psychology. And all I did, instead of trying to relearn that entirety of that huge segment of entrepreneurship for myself, I just, you know, used what he said and I applied it to my specific situation and it worked beautifully, guys. So the moral of the story is you don't not know anything. Never tell me again that you don't know how to do something, because if you don't know how to Google search, then you can't be a successful entrepreneur. So next time that somebody asks you a question that you don't know, what are you gonna do? You're gonna Google search it, you're gonna figure it out, you're gonna add value, and you're gonna build your business until it explodes.